Being a fan of Candace Cameron and of Christmas films I've never seen, A Shoe Addict's Christmas sounded like one that I would really enjoy. And having watched it, I can now say it's not as amazing as I thought it was. I think it's quite different to what I expected, but it's still a pretty decent watch. This was released in 2018 and it's directed by Michael Robison and written by Rick Garman and based on the novel by Beth Harbison. And as I said, it stars Candace Cameron as Noelle. And Luke Macfarlane plays Jake, and Jean Smart plays the very fabulous Charlie. Charlie is a brilliant character in this, and I will talk about her in a moment. I won't give any spoilers, I will not go into too much detail, so if you haven't seen it, you're fine to listen. But I will talk a little bit about it. So the description from IMDb reads as follows. Noelle's life stopped when her boyfriend broke up with her on Christmas Eve 3 years ago. A handsome fireman moves in above her. She gets locked in at work in a department store all alone, save the ghost of Christmas past. So, basically, and she meets Charlie. Charlie being the ghost of her Christmas past. And I do think, first of all, she's a wonderful character. She's not really ghost-like. There's nothing heaven and earth about her. She is just a character who appears magically and disappears just as magically, who is there to guide Noelle through the current troubles that she is having. Now, that seems weird because Noelle isn't really that much of a problematic character. While she does struggle with things since her boyfriend broke up with her on Christmas Eve 3 Christmases ago, she doesn't seem that depressed or that in that much need of assistance from the ghost of Christmas past. So I feel like they could have done a bit more with the character, or at least gave us a bit more time to find out how she was feeling really, because at no point does she ever come across as being totally depressed or crying herself to sleep because she hates the holidays now. There's none of that, so it's a little out of the ordinary that she would be visited by the ghost of Christmas past. But once you get past the fact that she doesn't really need this visit, it's pretty enjoyable. Obviously, she meets the firefighter, Jake, and they spend some time together as they're planning a gala, and obviously they get to know each other and their friendship develops. Whether or not, if it's a will they won't they, I won't reveal anything, but you can use your imagination with what kind of film this is. And it's nice, it's quite a sweet story. I think for me, Charlie makes that little bit extra something because she's a brilliant character. One of my favourite interpretations of the ghost of Christmas past. She's not very ordinary at all. And I really like Noelle. As I said, the character seems really underwritten, but I do like Candace Cameron, and I think she played the character well with the traits that were written into the narrative, but she definitely wasn't well developed enough. The other thing that I found odd about this, and it didn't really detract from my enjoyment, it just made it a little bit different. So it's called A Shoe Addict's Christmas, and the shoes do play a part in it, but not as much as I'd expected. Because the shoes can become windows to the past, which I think is a really lovely way of looking at it. We've all got those shoes where, once we put them on, we feel like we're back in wherever we last wore them. And I think that's really quite an interesting thought, actually, because material possessions shouldn't mean things to us, but actually they can transport us. And I do like that. But I feel like I would have liked to have had more from that, rather than it just being something extra in order for the film to be called Shoe Addict's Christmas. It seemed not what it was really about. But nevertheless, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a really interesting take on the ghost of Christmas past. Not a perfect film, and Noelle is likeable, and she's quite relatable at times, and she's never overly pessimistic or sickeningly jolly. I think she has a nice happy medium. But again, maybe that's a problem because she doesn't really need the ghost of Christmas past. But I like Noelle as a character. Shoe Addict's Christmas is nice. It's good. It's very festive. A lot of festivities in this. It's really beautiful. A visually gorgeous film. The costumes, especially Charlie's, are magnificent. I would definitely recommend this film. Just don't expect anything spectacularly perfect. But I think you'll enjoy it. I certainly did.